Short selling is the sale of a security that is not owned by the seller or that the seller has borrowed. Short selling is motivated by the belief that a security's price will decline. The security is purchased back later at a lower price in order to make a profit. Short selling may be prompted by speculation or by the desire to hedge the downside risk of a long position in the same security or a related one. Since the risk of loss on a short sale is theoretically infinite, short selling should be only done with experience. So let's take a look. Today we're going to talk about short selling and two stocks that were recommended to be shorted by TheStreet.com. And the first stock is Molson Coors, and the next stock will be Cardinal Health. And we'll start with Molson Coors. And based on the article from TheStreet.com, it reads as follows. Molson Coors Brewing, the symbol is TAP, recently was downgraded to hold with a C rating by the Street's Quant Ratings service. Meanwhile, the stock got blasted recently and has poor earnings and continues to be in a tailspin. As can be seen in this chart here, TAP's MACD indicator is on a solid sell signal. A look at the weak relative strength indicates that big money is not interested in this name here. Resistance is all over the place with a downtrend line and gaps, while the momentum is very weak. Sell any rally. And as we can see here, beginning at the top of the chart with the RSI, you can see that it definitely is in a downtrend with lower highs across the board here and finally into the negative territory based on this indicator. Looking at the price chart itself, definitely moving averages are all moving down. The price chart itself is reaching lower highs. And then finally here, we get a waterfall sell-off. I'm not sure the indications if they would give you any heads up on a waterfall sell-off, but it occurred at this point here. And then again here in the MACD, this is definitely showing negative movement here, this downtrend all the way through here. And then of course the Williams, which is the last oscillator, started up here and then goes into a decline all the way through here and spending lots of time in this negative territory based on this indicator here. So all the signs are that this is a weak stock. So given where the price is at this point here, is this a short sale? Well, they seem to think so. I don't. Let me show you my charts. Replicating the chart from the Street.com article, we're looking at the 6-month daily chart on Molson Coors Brewing. Again, the symbol is TAP. And as you can see here in the price chart, definitely the price has been declining, and the moving averages are also shown in a decline. Moving here to the MACD definitely lower highs, heading on down, and then the water sell-off there. And this oscillator is pretty similar to the rest of them. They all show that Molson Coors is relatively negative. I wouldn't want to be buying this stock, going long on this stock for sure. However, the question is the current price, where is that at, and is it a good short? So let's go back up here to the price chart, and we see that the current price is $60.21. Now the article is a few days old, but still in this general area here. So is this a good short? Well, from this, it looks like a sick stock. But let's go take a look at the long-term chart. The reason I like to start out with a long-term chart, and what we have here is the 20-year monthly chart on Molson Coors. And the reason I like to look at these long-term charts is because this gives you the full context. Looking at a 6-month daily chart, it looks like a very sick stock, and it is. However, looking at this long-term chart, would I want to be shorting this stock at this point here? Now, really, the time to look at a short was way back here. This stock has been moving down going on 2 years. So I think they're a little bit late. And if we go on down to the MAC, looks like that's still heading on down south. But I think it may be hitting a bottom here. And that's indicated we hit one low point there, recovered a bit, came back down here. So we're at another low point. But moving here to the momentum, we see that that's still heading on down pretty negative as well. Looking at the price rate of change, definitely negative. Moving on here to the RSI into the oversold territory there and in the stochastic. Stochastic shows that it wants to try to do some sort of turn here. And it's attempted it once, so I would imagine another attempt's going to be coming up pretty soon. Definitely negative on the volume for the last several months. Moving on down here to the Williams. The Williams have been bottoming for about a year now. So that's giving you a heads up that things may be changing. So back up here to the price chart. It's been in a decline for 2 years. So I think the street.com is definitely late. I think that the risks now are not unlimited to the upside per se. I think the risks are even greater that this is possibly going to turn and attempt a bottom. So I think the easy money has been made, and now the risks are much greater than they were way back here. So in my opinion, Molson Coors Brewing is not a candidate to short sell. Let's go to the next stock. And this next stock here from thestreet.com is Cardinal Health, and the symbol is CAH. Reading from their article, Cardinal Health recently was downgraded to hold with a C+ rating by the Street's quant rating service. And looking at the chart here, thestreet.com indicates that the medical company has seen better days as its gap lower was painful and on a huge turnover. Cardinal missed on earnings and the stock was punished severely for it. The MACD is on a fresh sell signal here, and there is a gap resistance way ahead. The stock could be sold on any rally. And this is very similar to the last stock we looked at. Moving here to the top of the chart here, the RSI is definitely negative trend. The price chart here also lower highs, negative trend as well in the MACD, and the Williams spending a lot of time down here in the negative territory below that sell signal. Very similar sell-off at this point, and here we are today at about this level. So let's go to the 6-month chart using my charts. The 6-month daily chart on Cardinal Health definitely shows the negativity here and the downtrend in the price chart as well as in the MACD here. At MACD histogram, much the same, momentum as well, price rate of change, relative strength. All of these oscillators are showing a negative downtrend. You can see that with these lower highs across the board in pretty much all the oscillators. We have one large negative period here, not so much red in this area here, but definitely the other oscillators are in negative trend. Moving back up to the price chart, I wouldn't want to be long this stock either. But then the question, should one short the stock at this point here? Let's go take a look at the long-term chart. 20-year monthly chart on Cardinal Health. And similar to Molson Coors, we can see that the price chart, this stock has been declining for several years. And you would know that. Taking a look at the MACD definitely pierced through at this point several years ago and has been moving on down here. Now, at this point there, you would have had to second guess yourself, but you'd have to take a look at the fundamentals to see what's going on with the stock, but definitely continuing on down. So even though this stock has been heading down for a couple of years or more, in my opinion, the risk in shorting this stock at the current time frame is probably a lot more riskier than it was, say, in the period of a few years ago. So once again, in my opinion, the current price. Here we are. I wouldn't be shorting this stock. I wouldn't necessarily go long either, but I wouldn't recommend going short on this stock here. And just a word of warning, when you short a stock, there really is a lot more homework that you need to do, both fundamentally and technically, because of the risk. The risks are definitely higher, so you need to be on top of your game. So in my opinion, these definitely are not stocks that you want to short. And if you are going to short some stocks, do your homework. So for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.